What about when I was running down a big poppy-filled field with a little girl?
That was Little House on the
Prairie. And then he even tells him the episode.
Yes, that episode. Little House.
And he's just like, you never did anything in your life. All you ever did was watch TV. So then we...
Take me to my office. You got it. 1968. Office Christmas party.
Yeah.
We got the atypical...
girl faxing, or not faxing, copying her pictures of her ass. Yeah. And handing it out to people, which I'm like, that's really nice of her. Just literally handing it out to everyone.
Basically invites, like, it says, I'm like, it's Bill Murray working. I guess at this point he's a temp.
No,
boy.
He's a male guy.
He's a male guy.
Yeah.
You want to get out of here, get some Chinese food? Oh, you know,
you shouldn't eat that. This was thing...
They've been cutting up alley cats. You shouldn't eat that.
That was a thing in the fucking 80s and 90s that everyone said. Because it must have happened once.
Yeah.
And that fucking story blew up like crazy. And it just became... Everyone said that it was fucking cat in Chinese food. And that... I can remember hearing jokes about it as late as 1997.
And Lou's like, if you look around, there's a Christmas party going on. I understand, Mr. Hayward. I just want to finish and then I'll party. Okay.
And this is when the girl comes up and, asks him to go out and whatever. And Frank, current Frank is just
You idiot!
You idiot!
Go back!
What is wrong with you? Get back in there! And it's like, it's about to happen.
Yeah. I'm like, it's for the best.
Yeah.
That didn't happen.
Exactly.
So, either way.
Pardon me.
We cut to him running into Claire on the street.
Literally.
Yeah. Claire running into him with the door.
Smacks him with the door.
He hits the ground. Her stuff goes flying. His stuff goes flying. He helps her up.
Yeah.
Oh, did I get you? You got me right here.
Right here?
And the street got me right here. Invites you for Chinese food.
Well, no, it started. Well, first of all, they hit it.
I got a party. You want to go to the party? He's like, I don't know.
So he goes like, "Do you want to go? You want to come to a Christmas party?" She's like, "I don't really want to." And he goes, "I don't want to either."
Yeah.
And then she goes, "You want to go for Chinese?" And then he's like, because he yells after her like,
"Oh, young lady,
young lady!" Like he doesn't.
Do you shop here?
Yeah.
Because if you do, I can.
I want to be safe, so I can go on the other side of the street.
Ba-dum-bum.
Yeah.
And even the ghost doesn't.
Both of them just go ba-dum-bum. And then, so they kind of, they go on a date, cut to a year later.
I do like you want to go for Chinese, and then and you hear a cat go, wow!
Yeah, well, of course you do. Because, again, that was an actual joke.
Cut to a year later, they're together, she's smoking fucking weed in the tub because she's a hippie.
Yeah. And the ghost is, like, fucking staring in there. Like, hey. Front your eyes.
Yeah. He's like, you really want to open the gifts? Like, no, you can open one.
Yeah.
That was what I did with my family. And
Me too.
Mine was strict Christmas.
Oh, no, we had one Christmas Eve.
She got Ginsu knives. Mm-hmm. And I like even the ghost, like, I know Ginsu knives.
No, they can cut a can.
They got a can, I know.
Yeah. Like, they can cut a tin can as easily as a tomato. I was like, well, no. But that was the selling point. Because everybody needed to cut tin cans in the 80s and 90s. I don't know why.
And he got the Kama Sutra.
He did. Hint, hint, motherfucker.
Yeah.
And I do enjoy his reply, which again I think was ad-libbed. Where he's just like, did that. A buddy of mine did that. It's like, all right, that's pretty funny.
Well, look at this one. If you touch the back of your thing, you can make her bark like a dog, and then she starts. And then that cuts into 1971, where he's playing Frisbee.
The dog
on the show Frisbee the dog. I think. Yeah, where
he's the star of the show.
He's like a Barney type,
except doesn't talk. Just a big floppy dog.
The whole, what is it, kids? It's a bone!
The fucking ghost is so into it.
It's a bone,
you lucky dog! Oh, so good.
And then, what I don't get, now I know, listen,
Sure.
I understand that the children are not dummies.
Okay.
But when, cut on the show, and he's walking off the set,
yeah.
he takes off the helmet right before he gets off.
Yeah.
Is there not one kid going, oh, Frisbee?
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, you would technically, in no kid's show ever, would you ever do that within eyesight of children.
Yeah.
You just wouldn't.
Don't expose.
Yeah. There's a reason why Disney fucking cast members, quote unquote, as they're called,
have to
are
stay
not allowed
in
to fucking
character.
do that. Yeah.
They are out of character when they're
If you throw up in that mask, you walk back in there with the vomit in you. Yeah. You do not take that hat off.
And Lou invites him to dinner. He's like, "Oh, you, my wife. Oh, your wife's out of town. Oh, that's right. So I guess it's just going to be us."
And Frank.
Yeah.
Frank, you come. Bring your girl.
Claire. Yeah.
Like, that's a huge deal.
Thank you, Mr. Haywood.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Claire shows up. It's like, we're going to go to dinner with my boss. Like, yeah, but we're going to our best friend's house tonight.
Shh, no. I agree with Frank for a minute on this. This literally advances everything in his career. This is a huge moment. They are just your friends. They will understand.
You can see them tomorrow.
Yeah. Well, he says next week, and she's like, it's Christmas. And he's like, okay. And that's where he should have countered, we can see them tomorrow.
Yeah.
She is being unreasonable.
I think so. Like,
to a point.
I understand her point of, like, but these are our best friends.
Yeah.
We made plans weeks ago.
Yeah, but that's not to me, that's not the argument. What ends up being is clearly this is a habit. This is a pattern.
Yeah.
Where, and I understand
he's always putting his job
and
in
I
front
understand
of
that point.
Their personal life.
Yes, and I totally understand that, and she's absolutely right to be frustrated. But to insist that he not go to dinner with his boss in this type of setting is unreasonable. Yeah. However, I understand her side of the story, but I do believe that she should take the bullet for the team. Ultimately.
It's obviously clear that he did go to dinner because this is
well, she says like, I'll tell them that you had something else to do.
Yeah.
And he said, okay, well, he's like, I'll try to come by afterward, even though she'd already said, like, we should take a break.
Yeah.
And he's not listening. So,
and he's yelling at the ghost, but at this point the ghost is on the TV. He's like, at this point you don't know who you are.
Yeah.
You don't know where you're going. You don't know what the hell is going on. Mm-hmm. And then he drives off.
Yes.
Back to he's back to the set. He's like, what? Huh? What? Mm-hmm. Huh? And then they're just going through rehearsals, and they're like, "Hey, Frank, you okay?" Like,
yeah, he's just sort of like, "Oh, wow, yeah, I'm fine." Isn't this where he knocks over the? Or is that after after Carol Kane?
After Carol Kane. Because then after Carol Kane, he is on the set.
Yeah,
he's just like, and they're like, hey, buddy, who are you?
Okay, that was after Carol Kane. Gotcha.
He goes to Operation Reach Out, because that's where, because Claire gave him a business card.
He's already clearly going nuts.
So he passes Elliot, who's passed out after giving blood.
Yeah.
And his money that he got from giving blood and his coat is taken by a homeless man.
Yeah, and my question is, later on, when we see him again, they're like...
low-key, he's being dumped on this entire film.
He is, but my question is, though, like, they say he's drunk. How? So far, every attempt he's had to get drunk has not worked.
Well, I think at this point, I don't know if he's drunk here. I think he's woozy because he gave so much blood.
Yeah, but later on, they flat out say he's drunk.
Oh. Well, he finally got a bottle and it wasn't taken from him or smashed on the ground.
Yes.
So he goes to Operation Reach Out. There's some people there that kind of, like, I think it's the mom from the Goonies.
Yeah, it is. It's
Mama Fratelli?
And Throw Mama from the Train.
Yeah, Throw Mama
from the Train. This is one of her last film roles. It might have actually been her last film role. Hang on.
And he comes in yelling and screaming to himself, and
they clearly think
someone thinks he's just some nutcase who just came off the street. Go, oh honey, come here, and they put a blanket over him and they sit him down. And these people think that he's Richard Burton.
Yeah. Because, well, they're all insane as well.
And the funny thing we were talking about, they're just like, can we call you Dick? Like, I know only your friends can call you that, but, like, come on, can you do a little bit of Shakespeare?
Yeah.
Come on, do it for Eva, come on.
And then he does.
And then he does it, and then they're like, oh, God, brilliant.
It's fantastic.
Yeah. And then he runs into Claire. He's like, Lumpy?
Yeah.
Claire! They talk more about just everything and... I guess catching up.
Yeah, pretty much. No, this was not her last film, but she did pass away that year.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
But she had filmed 3 other film roles that all came out the next year.
Now, they get into a fight here at the end, because this is basically...
Well, because what happens is that they're like, hey, let's go do something. I can't remember what they were going to do, but they were going to go do something, and then the 2 of the workers come up and just say, we don't have... I don't know what the first one is, but they don't have turkeys.
Yeah.
And they should have been delivered. And she goes, okay, well, I will take care of this. And he loses his shit and goes, well, they can take care of that. Don't...
you and me can go.
We can go and they can take care of that. It's fine. She goes, no, I have to do this. I'm the one in charge. And he goes, God, what is wrong with these people? Like... They can't handle a simple problem. Like, this is what's wrong with everyone today. No one, like, basically echoing the shit out of his father. Like, no one wants to work. Everyone's lazy and all this shit. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And she's just like, she's looking at him like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, you're such a horrible person, because he's like, you should fire these people. They're volunteers. Yeah. And no one will ever hire them, which is a great counter.
Yeah.
And, and she just sort of goes, okay, well, we'll talk later, proving once and for all that she might be the nicest person ever, because she still insists that they will talk later, even though he's clearly a scumbag.
Maybe the coldest thing.
Oh, I can't remember what it is, but yes.
He says, you want some advice? Mm-hmm. Scrape them off, Claire. You want to save someone? Save yourself.
Yes.
Oh, that's a nice sentiment at this time. Happy, Merry Christmas. Bah humbug. And then he just closes the door. Herman asks him $2 for something, and he's like, sorry, I don't got any money.
Yeah.
No, Liz took it all in the divorce.
Yes, that's what it was, yeah.
And then he takes off. Mm-hmm. Runs into Bryce again. More just
Frank, we were worried about you. What happened?
I just called lunch. I call lunch. Well, I could bring everyone back so you can call lunch.
Everyone, Frank has something he wants to say. Go ahead, Frank. I think we need to talk. I can't right now, Frank. I gotta go grab drinks, but we'll definitely talk later.
Like, hey, I gotta go grab some drinks with Preston.
Yeah,
busy.
So fucking good. Yeah.
Then we get the Ghosts of Christmas Present.
Yes.
Flying in our little fairy wings. Carol Kane doing a Three Stooges routine.
Yep. Just beats the living shit out of him.
And then knocks him out so much that we get to Grace's family.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just them, like, being, lovable. And
being lovable. Basically, it's the quote-unquote...
I do like... Is it here or at his brothers where the dog sees him? I think it's his brothers, right?
Yeah, it's his brothers, right before he actually sees his brother, the dog.
So they sneak in through the window or whatever, and they're just watching them there. And even though they have little to no money...
They're having
fun.
fucking
happy.
Yeah, it's the Bob Cratchit of it all, I believe.
That's exactly... Yeah. See, that's the thing. I was thinking that... I thought him going to his brothers, that was the Bob Cratchit of it all.
No, it was this, because she works for him.
Right.
And she didn't give him he didn't give her the time off.
But she's still happy, and, giving her kid raspberries. Like, this one's mine! Gives him raspberries and stuff.
And at the same time is also the Laddermilk as well. Like, where he fired him. He's also, he's I guess, he's not Tiny Tim, but he's also the Bob Cratchit in the sense of he fires him.
Yeah.
So it's a weird combination of a bunch of things.
Then we cut to James's.
Oh, and I love the fact that they're giving him the raspberry, and then fucking... the ghost is just like, oh my god, I want to do that, and she starts doing it to him, and it's these two together are magical.
Yeah. Full disclosure, I was watching this with my wife, and yes, I did give her raspberry.
As you should.
And I'm like, oh, come here.
That seems like the right thing to do.
Then we cut to James's family. This is where the dog sees him.
Yeah.
And Wendy's like, what are you barking at?
Yeah.
And it's him and his wife and their friends, and they're playing Trivial Pursuit. And
and they're very bad at it because you wouldn't know the first one, but again, this goes back into the fact that Frank watched way too much TV.
Yeah.
But the second thing that they say is, what was the boat that dropped everyone off on Gilligan's Island? Everyone fucking knows that.
It's SS Minnow. It's like SS Mackerel, I think his brother says.
It's like, just die.
They open up the gift that he got from his brother, and it's the VHS, and he's pissed.
He's like, God, my former assistant.
Secretary.
She sent that to you. Like, how dare you? And he's just like, wow, it's just so great. And she's just like, how many times have you invited him and he never shows up? Like, she's kind of against him, and he's defending his brother.
He's just like, he's my brother.
He's my brother. That's just what it is.
What'd you get him for Christmas this year? And then Carol Kane covers his...
la,
la, la, la, la.
No. I know something you don't know.
I know something you
don't know. And, and it's just,
I think it's in the... when did he hit him with a toaster? Was it in Grace's house?
It was right there. It was here, yeah.
It's like, boom!
Yeah, because I think he was getting fed up with her, and he's just like, fuck it, I'm leaving. And then she goes, oh, okay, and then she grabs the toaster and fucking...
Rip your wings off! You know I like the rough stuff.
And in that moment, I'm immediately like, I'm now in love with Carol Kane. Please and thank you.
And after he gets hit with the toaster, he ends up in the sewer of some sort?
Yeah, he falls through the ground and ends up in the sewer. And this is strange.
He comes across Herman.
Yeah.
Who's dead.
What?
And he's just like, oh, come on. He touches him, and then you see his hands holding a pocket watch, and the pocket watch drops to signify, I guess, that he's dead. He's like, oh, God. You idiot!
Yeah. I could have given him $2 and saved his
you
life.
should have stayed with Claire. She would have taken care of you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, because he told her to go inside. Or him just go inside.
You'd be okay. I mean, you'd be a fucking nicer shade of color, I'll tell you that.
Yeah. And then he just sort of is yelling at nobody, and then just like, is that the door? And he's like,
I do
that
like-
is the door.
He's looking up at the grades like, oh, wait, nice shot, lady. He's looking.
Yeah. He's just,
Thanks for the view. or
Yeah,
whatever.
and then a cop, he's like, serve and protect, huh? Well done.
Yeah.
Like, just